What activity in sales is creative, humorous, and a confidence builder? What if I told you that activity is cold calling? Let's break it down in this episode of Closing Time. Thanks for tuning into Closing Time, the show for go-to-market leaders. I'm Val Riley, head of content and digital marketing at Insightly CRM. Today I'm joined by Daisy Chung. She is the director of sales at Orum, an outbound calling platform. Welcome to the show, Daisy.
Thanks, Val. Great to be here today. Excited to chat.
Awesome. So when most people think of cold calling, they don't associate it with humor, building confidence, or something fun. They really associate it with rejection. And I want to hear how you flip that script.
Yes. So I think it's very common to think about cold calling as rejection because you do get rejected on calls more often than not. But the most successful people I know are folks that have gone through a lot of rejections. So when you reframe the thought of rejection from bad to good, that will empower you to start thinking of it as a good thing. Because with each rejection, you're building the grit and the confidence to get better and better. And that rejection impacts you less and less. And so a lot of times once you get past that, you'll start having this strong mindset where every rejection is just empowering you to have a better and better conversation. And you can start laughing about it, adding jokes, being creative, relaxing, and not being so scared of this rejection piece of it. And with that, it becomes a vicious cycle of positivity because you're excited for the rejection. You're excited for the next challenge. You're excited to get better. And that's how cold calling can be a lot more fun than thinking about it as a negative thing.
Is there a specific way you talk to people about not taking it personally?
Yes, a lot of it is really mental. You have to really take away the the personal part of the cold calling where you think that they're attacking you or it's directly at you when they're rejecting you. If you can take that away and know it's not personal, that this is strictly business, it's strictly trying to find the win-win between the two of you guys. And if you can't come to agreement, it is your job as a sales rep to find different ways to consult, to persuade, to get people to see other perspectives. And so when you take out the personal from it, I think the rejection is a lot easier to take. And when you spin it so that it's your job to get creative, to get thoughtful, to think of different ways of talking about it, that way it becomes a lot more fun and a lot less personal too.
Got it. Okay. So you say that cold calling has changed a lot in recent years for the better, based on a few factors. The first one is that maybe tech is making it a little bit easier.
Yes. So when I started cold calling about, I'd say almost 10 years ago, we would use an actual cell phone. We have a binder with pieces of paper, and I would just call one by one. If someone picks up, we write the conversation. If they don't pick up, I put left voicemail, et cetera, literally pen, paper, binder, and a cell phone. And it will take me hours, I kid you not, 8 hours plus day to call 100 people, talk to maybe 6 or 7, and make sure everything's recorded here. Fast forward 10 years now, I think we're very blessed with so much technology on the market. Typically, when folks are thinking about cold calling, I think in today's world, we have a trifecta effect. So there's 3 technology that comes to mind. Whenever you cold call, you always want to have some sort of intent data. So softwares like Sixth Sense, which will tell you which leads are more likely to be part of your ICP, which leads are more likely to have a stronger relation to what you're selling, so that you're calling smart. From there, we recommend some sort of velocity acceleration tool, something like Orum, where our goal here is to drive more live conversations. It's not fun when you're calling all day and no one's picking up. You spend a lot of time on that manual work. But what if there's technology that can plug you into conversation after conversation after conversation, and your only job is to pitch versus all the manual labor? And the last piece is some type of coaching software, such as a Gong, where you're able to really take the live conversations at high velocity and get better and better. So gone are the days where you're doing everything manually. There's no data, there's no insight, there's no direction essentially. Now there's technology that can do all that for you. So all you're left with is pitching and getting better and talking to the right people.
Yeah, I mean, definitely big advantages there. Another aspect that you say that is changing is the remote workplace, right? Post-pandemic, and the fact that a lot of phone numbers are actually cell numbers.
Yeah. So in today's world, a lot of times what we're seeing is we always want to target as many mobile numbers as possible because since the pandemic, a lot of folks have now turned remote or partially remote, and we're seeing a big uptick in people picking up. because people are working at home, because it's one, a lot quieter and easier to pick up your cell phone. Two, a lot of times meetings can either run late, start early, all that fun stuff. And so you usually have 5-10 minutes between the top of the hour or meetings like that. And so if someone's calling you, it's quiet, you have a higher chance of picking up versus in the office, if someone's calling you, even if you're done with the meeting earlier, you have a coworker grabbing you, someone's saying this, someone's saying that, and it's very easy to ignore your calls. So I'd say in today's world, generally speaking, it's been, we've seen a big uptick in people picking up their mobile numbers.
Yeah. So as a remote worker, I could tell you some days if I've just spoken to my cats all day, I might actually pick up a cold call. So I think there's value there.
Yeah.
So another factor we want to talk about is what's going on with email. And in case anybody watching this does not know, starting in 2024, there are just additional regulations coming from Google and Yahoo, and I'm certain other vendors will follow suit, where there's going to be heavier restrictions on bulk emailing, and just email quality will be scrutinized. So maybe in that case, the phone is looking like a better option as well.
Yeah, so with emails being scrutinized right now, I think it's more important than ever to send very customized emails. We're a big fan of doing everything, but now that it's harder to send high volumes of emails without super customizing them, it gets really tough because a good rep can spend hours doing the research, doing the customization, writing one stellar email. But more often than not, senior leadership will just click delete and all that work will be for naught. And so with phone, what's great is you can cut through the noise. Once you get that pickup, you can have that conversation. If you don't have that pickup, you have the software and tools that will save your time. You're not spending a bunch of time calling and not talking to anyone. I think it also gives you the advantage that if you do put together the time and effort for that very custom email, once you get a pickup, you can have them refer back to the email. And even if they deleted it, they'll go ahead and flag it back open because you're asking them to on that call too.
Got it. Okay. So maybe a tiny bit easier now, but in general, cold calling really is a skill that salespeople need to hone. Can you maybe talk about your own experience with cold calling and how it maybe helped you move up the ranks a little bit?
Yeah, I know earlier we talked a little bit about how cold calling can drive confidence and creativity just through the repetition and reframing how rejection is a positive thing. I think the biggest thing that's helped me personally through over 10 years of cold calling is that empowering piece. When you're cold calling, you really become empowered because it enables you to believe that everything's within your control. You decide to pick up your phone, you decide to have the call, you decide that after you get rejected, someone tears you apart, you're gonna pick up the phone again. You decide that someone says something that doesn't make you feel great, that you're gonna pick up the pieces, not take it personally, and continue going. Because of that, and because that improves your skill set, it gives you that confidence and that empowerment that you could pretty much do anything you set your mind to. I think that has always given me the confidence throughout my entire sales career to go from promotion after promotion. Because I feel very empowered that everything's within my control with what I want. And I think cold calling gives you that confidence and that empowerment to do so.
Wow. So maybe a highway up the career ladder. Kind of riffing off of that, in terms of a comp plan, if you have experience in cold calling and proven success in cold calling, it seems like if you've mastered that, you might be able to attract or earn a better comp plan, just because of the economics of working inbound leads versus doing outbound.
Yeah, so a lot of times it might not be obvious on why, if you're a strong outbound rep, someone who can cold call and drive outbound revenue, deserve a higher compensation plan. However, if you're interviewing, you're a candidate, you're able to articulate that your skill set to drive outbounds, to drive more revenue, and you can articulate back. If you do your research and share with that company that, hey, I noticed on your quarterly earnings report, you guys are spending XYZ dollars on marketing, and that can be very, very expensive. And with the ups and downs of the economy, marketing and inbound leads aren't always guaranteed. With your outbound expertise and how you're confident you can bring in revenue and pipeline through outbounding, that should equal to XYZ more savings for the company, XYZ more revenue, XYZ more reliability that I'm going to be a rep that's consistent regardless if inbounds come or not. And that should be able to command XYZ% more pay because of the confidence I'm giving you in my abilities here. So a rep that can connect the dots essentially should be able to command a higher compensation plan here.
Can you talk through, in your experience as a hiring manager, how you really test or validate someone's cold calling skills?
A couple things. When we're interviewing for, let's say, sales development reps who really focus on cold calling, we do mock cold calls. We have them do actual cold calls and a couple of scenarios. I think one, the scenario is having them pitch as if they're a rep at our company, Orum, and seeing how they go through some of the common objections. But we also do another mock where we have them pitch their current company, because a lot of times you can see people get a little uncomfortable. They don't know what to say. They don't know the competitors, all that fun stuff, but you really see them in their realm, their world, when they're pitching what they're selling today. And that will give you a lot of insights on how they navigate objections that they are currently comfortable with.
I love that idea. I think it's great to put them in the place where they're comfortable, and then you can really see their actual sales skills shine versus how much they have managed to learn about your company in that very short period of time when they've been interviewing.
Yep, exactly. And you really want to see how they sell when they're the most comfortable and they're most confident too.
Got it. Daisy, any other tips for our potential budding cold callers out there?
I think the biggest tip is have fun. A lot of times, I think the rejection piece and you feel like you're kind of alone in this bubble makes it very hard for you to have the urgency to pick up the phone and start calling. But if you make it more fun, you make it more collaborative, you make it a team sport with other colleagues, and you create an environment where it's just a lot more fun, I think you get a lot of results from there. And know that at the end of the day, big deals are closed from cold calling. And so if you're motivated by money, you're motivated by promotions, you're motivated to just get better yourself as a skill set, I think cold calling is a great way to really up-level those skill sets.
Awesome. Well, I hope everybody out there is inspired to pick up the phone after listening to this episode. Daisy, thanks so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you, Val.
All right. And thanks to all of you for tuning in out there. Remember, you want to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you don't miss an episode. We will see you next week.